You'll be surprised how much wasted time, missed opportunities, and wasted money you are experiencing by simply not planning and bringing order to your chaotic schedule. You'll also be surprised to know how much more enjoyable life would be and how much more productive and focused you could be if you just took the time to plan and schedule your days and your weeks so that you can maximize the most valuable, precious gift that you are given each and every day: time. Are you tired of putting up with that chaotic schedule and giving into it? You're watching the right video because we're about to get you fit to be more organized and be a better planner starting now. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael Kilpatrick, and if you're new here, this is my channel for Fitness by Digits, a business equipping leaders to acquire greater levels of success and impact through wellness and organization. As a pastor and coach, I am here to help you get fit for what you're called to be in your areas of influence. Many people subconsciously believe that a busy and chaotic schedule is just their lot in life. However, that's far from the truth. You get to choose what you focus on and give your attention to. The reality is, you can accomplish great things and still not have to put up with a busy, chaotic schedule. The real focus isn't for you to do all the things, but for you to find out and discover what priorities you need to be focused on and execute in those areas and be at peace with that. It's okay not to be able to do all the things, but it's great for you to determine and discern what are the right things for you to do in this season at this time so that you can advance in what you're called to be. If you want to bring order to your chaotic schedule and create more breathing room within it, it is your time because we're about to discuss how right now. The first thing you need to do to bring order to the chaos in your schedule is get to know yourself. Discover who you are as a planner. Many times we say to ourselves, I'm not a good planner. I'm not good at scheduling. I have a problem with being able to keep my calendar in order. When the reality is, you have been trying to operate out of a mold that you've seen versus discovering how you are and what your preferences are as a planner. Are you a big picture planner? Are you a super detailed planner? Discover what works for you in being able to identify what things you need to do and being able to put it in your schedule. And another thing, too, I'll mention here is you have to be okay that your plan may not go exactly the way you want it to. Don't resist planning because you're afraid of it not going 100% the way you wrote it down. The reality is, your plan cannot be your guide. Your plan is a guide. Your plan is a guide, not a God. So when you're writing and creating your plan and your schedule, realize you're doing so under the pretense of perfect conditions. Although you know and I know life doesn't always go the way we plan it to go. Life isn't always as picture perfect as we sometimes plan it. So it's important for you as you're discovering yourself, don't condemn yourself or say that you're not a good planner or resist the process of discovering who you are as a planner and scheduler because things don't always go 100% because they never will. In creating your guide, you'll later realize how to pivot and adjust. And because you planned and scheduled, you're more able, capable, and suitable to do so and waste less time and be less stressed because you've discovered who you are as a planner and you utilized it as a guide to help you move forward through your week, through your day, and through whatever season you're in what you're trying to advance and what you're called to be. Also, while you're discovering yourself and getting to know who you are when it comes to being a planner and scheduling out your day and your weeks, it's important for you to identify what systems and routines you need to implement. Know thyself. What things do you need to do at what times? If you know you are too overwhelmed and too tired to do dishes or clean up at the end of the day, maybe you need to focus in your routines to establish and implement more transitional time to clean up as you go versus going from one thing to the next, working up to the very last second. Maybe it's for you to discover what areas do I need to delegate and invest in hiring help to do certain things that you don't necessarily prefer to do or you find difficult to do or actually accomplish in a day or in a week or within the month you are trying to schedule and plan for. It is important that you learn who you are as a planner, but also learn who you are so that you know what systems and routines you need to implement in your plan so that the chaos in your schedule can lift. Once you've discerned and discovered who you are as a person when it comes to scheduling and planning, you now need to discover and discern what your priorities are in this season. And you can only do this through intimacy with God. You need to know what His priorities for you are in this season. Otherwise, your schedule will be chaotic. It will be overwhelmed and consumed with trying to please other people, trying to uphold this representation of yourself or this image of yourself that you don't need to fulfill. Many times we get off track from what we're actually called to be because we are going after and trying to do the wrong things. We're putting our energy in places that are wasteful. It is taking away from us the focus and energy we need to be applying on the very things we're called to and that God is actually strengthening us to do and be. So it's important for you to discover what priorities you must have and fulfill and uphold in this season and stop being distracted by other options, other things, so that you can accomplish and really be who you're called to be, so that you can acquire greater levels of success and impact in the areas of influence God has you in. Now that you've established and determined what priorities you have in this season as determined by God, you now need to discern the time. I actually gave a message on discerning the time with Fit Life Church. And this is important because while there is so much you can do, you need to make sure within the given priorities that has been established for you, you're actually doing what you actually must do. Many times we want to just go after and do all the things. Again, this is why our schedules get so busy and so chaotic. We're trying to do all the things to accomplish such great feats when really we can trim a lot of that down to focus on the very things God says we need to do and accomplish when it comes to those areas that He says you need to prioritize in this season. So, for example, if you need to prioritize family more, for example, you need to not just try to do all the things and think of all the vacations and all the activities and all the things that you could do. No, stop. Don't overwhelm your schedule. Pull back and what are the things that actually God is telling me to do to connect with my family, my children, so that the fruit that is desired to be produced from it can manifest and be lasting. Many times we wear ourselves out by doing a whole lot of good things when we need to calm down, pull back, and discernment and discern the time so that we can do the right things, the most important things, so that we can see advancement, build momentum, and see fruit and growth in the areas we're called to. So when it comes to the areas that are your priorities for the season, What is overwhelming your schedule? What things need to be thrown away, taken away? What things do you actually need to keep? In Ecclesiastes, it talks about there's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. What time is it for you when it comes to those things in the areas that God is saying you need to prioritize in the season? And you will find your schedule being more freed up to actually focus on and do what it is you're called to do and experience peace and freedom in doing those things. More on how to bring order to your chaotic schedule in a moment. I want to hear from you. What do you find most challenging when it comes to keeping your schedule from being chaotic and overwhelmed? Or what is your biggest frustration with trying to bring order to the chaos in your schedule? Share in the comments below. At this point, your schedule should be a lot simpler than what it was before. You should now be ready to actually reorchestrate, write out, and process through what it is you're actually going to do and what you actually need to do. Because at this point, you should have been able to trim the fat. And no, you can't do this in your own strength. With the help of the Holy Spirit in partnership with Him, really discern, God, what do I need to keep and what do I need to throw away in my schedule, in my planning, in my whole approach to what it is you're saying I need to prioritize in my life at this time. That's really important for you so that you can properly discern the time. So now that you are ready in this step to really write out and replan your schedule. You have to write it out. You have to plan it out. Enter it into a calendar. Use resources and tools that help you visualize and see what it is you should be doing and prioritizing and focusing on so that when you're getting off track, you can get refocused. And when things get off track, you can easily pivot and maneuver items from one day to the next, one order to another, and be able to find freedom in actually being able to still move forward despite the challenges, obstacles, and things that might come up on a day-to-day basis. Lastly, but extremely important, you have to go into protection mode. Yes, I've already stated that there will be times and situations where you have to pivot and adjust. But many times our schedules become chaotic and overwhelming because we become yes men and yes women. We don't know how to say no. We try to fit all the things, all the requests, all the desires, everything that comes up into our schedule and find ourselves overwhelmed and feeling pressured and not being able to see advancement in what we're actually called to be. So it's important that you go into protection mode. Set and maintain boundaries so that you can stick to your schedule and plan as closely as you possibly can. And the freedom for you in this is that you can be led by the Holy Spirit in knowing when to adjust and when to stand firm. You have to go into protection mode by allowing the Holy Spirit to be your guide and your filter in discerning what you say yes to, what you say no to. How do you pivot? How do you adjust? It is important for you to implement this last step if you're going to maintain a schedule that doesn't get and start feeling like it's chaotic and out of order. If you want to bring order to your schedule and plan, you have to go into protection mode. And this includes you saying yes and no to yourself, discerning when to say yes and when to say no, even to yourself. You might want to go out again. You might want to do that extra thing. But as led by the Holy Spirit, is this what is best for this moment? Is this something you should engage in, or should you put it in your schedule to plan to go attend to or complete at a later time? Sometimes it might not even be a yes or no, but later. Stop being pressured to actually do things in the moment or do it right thing. Be able to give yourself the grace to process through and think through what is my response supposed to be to this pressure, request, idea, or desire so that my schedule and my plan doesn't become overwhelming and chaotic and I can maintain the order that I've already established. Be diligent to not lose what you've worked so hard to attain. Be sure, as led by the Holy Spirit, to maintain order when it comes to your schedule as much as you possibly can, as led by the Holy Spirit, and get in protection mode in order to do so. Thanks for watching this video. If you received value from this video, I know you will enjoy joining my Fitness by Digits community. This is a free opportunity for you to connect with me and others who are on this journey with you. And another freebie you will get as a part of joining this community is a Mastering Your Schedule planning guide. This guide will give you the ability to help you actually complete that step of writing it out and scheduling. It helps you process through all the things and be able to implement what priorities God says you need to make and have in this season, and be able to schedule and plan it out and be able to learn how to pivot and adjust. In this guide, I give you the steps to process through how to plan and schedule your week, maintain it, reflect, and make adjustments as you continue on to future weeks. Definitely sign up for the FBD community and receive your free planning guide today so that you can bring order to the chaos in your schedule and begin the process of acquiring greater levels of success and impact through wellness and organization by joining us today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date with the latest content and value that I'm giving through this platform. And be sure to like it as well as share with others who would benefit from this video so that they can bring order to the chaos in their schedules. And most importantly, be sure to go and implement the things that the Holy Spirit convicted you during this video that you needed to implement so that you can see advancement in the things that you're called to in this season and the seasons to come. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.